Wonderful guest that we have who will be flying out in a few minutes' time. And it just behooves us to allow him just to say hello and just give us a nugget or two under 3 minutes. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together for Art of Networking-Hinn Walubengo, all the way from Kenya. He's the founder of I Speak Society. His mandate is mindset, identity, and culture, to mention but a few, and just raising kings for the nation. So I'll let him take the floor, and he is very familiar with speaking under 3 minutes, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, action.
Thank you. My speech will actually be as short as a miniskirt to attract your attention and long enough to cover the essentials. Let's appreciate everyone who is here. Mr. Edwin told me that he watches my videos on TikTok, and he says, before you fly out, I want you to come and just greet my people. So I came to greet you how public speakers greet people, because public speakers don't greet you with their hands. There is a way we greet people. Thank you so much for the work that you are doing. I want us just to appreciate Mr. Edwin and the whole team. This is so impactful. I'll focus on 2 areas for the 3 minutes I've been given. I realized that many people attend networking events. In Kenya, we did a study. We partnered with Google, and we discovered that corporate events in Kenya happen every about 3,000 events. But every time people come to these events, they'll exchange the business cards, people will talk, get contacts, but after that, nothing happens. We find that the conversations never solidify to actually bring any conversion. And I want to focus on that because as you're in this room, you're meeting different people. And I realize that sometimes, apart from taking the pictures and the contacts, there is so much more. And I want to talk about the art of networking. How do you build relationships? I've written a book called Is the Networking? And that book talks about the art of approaching people, building relationships, and actually solidifying those relationships. I came to Uganda because of sending a DM. I sent a DM to someone 6 months ago. And then they never responded, but they followed me on social media. And they began to see what I'm doing. And through that, this person opened for me a door to more than 5 nations. His name is Brian Kayongo. I sent a DM to Vusi Thembekwayo when I was 19 years old, when I did my first event of 3,000 young people, because I'd been taught by my mentor, PLO Lumumba, that if you want to get access to any busy person, never send them a message and never call them. Send them a voice note. It should not go beyond 42 seconds. Go straight to the point. Talk about value, vision, and don't talk about yourself. Open it by first honoring them and congratulating them, and send it between 12 a.m. or very early in the morning, because at that time they're concentrating. And Vusi responded, and Vusi said, I may not come to your event because I've been called by Safaricom to speak at Movenpick and we've already signed a contract, but I'll give you access to one of my mentees in Ghana. So talk to him right now. I sent that guy a short voice message. He responded immediately and asked me, what's the cost of the auditorium you want to host me? I told him $1,000. He sent it that night. I booked the auditorium the next day. I called my team of like about 45 people. I told them, each of you just need to gather 25 people. And I did a masterclass for 2 hours on how to gather 25 people. And I went to gather 25 people. On the day of the event, 1,500 guys came. And after that, I did the next event, 3,000. I want just to show you that there is a practical way of building influence, quite a bit swift, because you must now define what influence is. As these amazing speakers will be speaking to you, I need you to ask yourself, what does influence mean to me? Because there are 3 levels of influence. There's solid influence, liquid, and atmospheric. Solid influence is having influence with the masses. For example, Apostle Grace Lubega gathers people on ground. That's called solid influence, where you can gather people on ground. And when you have solid influence, what happens is that you begin to get access to governments. Governments look for you instead of you looking for governments, and also resources look for you. But solid influence, to some degree, you must have something called a platform and a product. And once you build this platform, you must now begin to think of yourself beyond an individual and begin to think of yourself as an ecosystem. Because if you come with a spoon, you'll be given a spoonful. If you come with a plate, you'll be given a plate full. But if you come with a kitchen, you'll be given a whole ecosystem. So you must see yourself as a kitchen, because if you see yourself as a kitchen, you're able to negotiate from an angle of vision, destiny, and generational thinking. That's how Joseph negotiated with Potiphar. He told Potiphar, I have a dream I need to live. You have a dream you want me to interpret. Let me interpret your dream as you help me to live my dream. That's called generational negotiation. So you must leave the language of I and talk the language of we. And the language of we is the language of numbers. In public speaking, we say that anytime you go to negotiate with people, that as you're speaking, we need to see something called SDA. We need to see stories, data and statistics, and powerful analogies. That if you're going to network with a person, your speech will be very brief, master data and statistics in terms of global thinking. Like yesterday, I met Sylvia Mulinge, MTN, 2 minutes. And I needed to shoot my shot in 2 minutes. So I gave data and statistics about Uganda, the young people, all these about 70% and all this. When you give data, there's a hormone called serotonin. It's a hormone for attention. Someone becomes alert. They want to talk to you more and more. And then now the other thing, master excellence in terms of scent. For example, David walked with his sling. He had not left his sling at home. That made him stand out and it attracted attention quickly. Then be swift in terms of protocol. Know he's the biggest person in the room. Like in this room, if you go to Mr. Edwin after this event, I'm telling you, he'll just tell you, good job, good job, good job. Then he'll forget your name. So look at who is the key person around Mr. Edwin. You heard the speaker say that his right-hand man is at the back. That's the person to go to. That's why in the Bible, David never went to King Saul first. David went to 2 other men, asked them, the first guy, what is happening? The guy told him there's a man called Goliath. Went to the second guy, what will be given? The guy told him, the king will give his daughter. Why? Because by the time you're going to the king, you don't go to the king to ask questions. You go with all the accurate details because there's no time. And when David did that, the king gave him attention. Then number 2, when Saul gave David his uniform, David never said, no, I don't want your uniform. He took the uniform, wore it, then told Saul, it can't fit me. He took another uniform. That's called the art of diplomacy. So if you go into the room of someone who is 50 years old and you're a young person, and they begin telling you, young people are so lazy, you guys are not focused, don't begin saying, no, it's not true. You agree with them. You say, yes, it's true, you're not focused. It is actually true, and we need to change. And that's why it's how we need mentorship. That's why I've come to you. And so that mastery is very key. And I believe if we are able to build this, because in this room I'm talking now to young people majorly, because I'm 23 years old. And I managed to get access to the senior most people in government. I've trained the daughter of the president in Kenya. I've trained cabinet secretaries because, 1, I removed age as an equation. Because age can be an excuse or a disadvantage. When you are young, age will be an excuse. When you are old, age can also be a disadvantage. You need to erase that. Because some of you are 60, but you have value for our generation. And some of you are at 16, 17, but you have value for the upper generation. Because David was 16 when he killed Goliath. Daniel was 19 when he became prime minister. Joseph was 38 when he became governor. We must master this thing and erase age and replace age with audacity. Because David had audacity. And it takes audacity to even sit in such rooms. It takes audacity even to stand here. Like right now, to some degree, I'm feeling nervous, but you can't see it. I've balanced it with audacity. Praise God. Last thing, I'll tell you, anytime you approach a certain caliber of people, there are 3 rules that apply. I would like you to run with this. Rule number 1, do proper research about these people. Don't deliver, over deliver. And this is how I do it. When I'm in Kenya, I get your contact and I send you money, then I get your full name, then I cancel the transaction, and then I go and search you on LinkedIn or Facebook or Google. Then I go and see, have you ever written any article? Have you ever given a speech anywhere? Like Dr. Edwin, I did an assignment on him. I downloaded about 17 of his speeches. And even how I got access to Uganda was through an interview with Apostle Grace for 2 minutes at the airport. Because I had watched 400 of his videos. So do your homework. Because Bruce Lee says, I don't fear a man who has practiced 10,000 kicks, but I fear a man who has practiced 1 kick 10,000 times. So do your homework before you meet anyone. Do your homework thoroughly. Know keen details. Don't give general compliments like you look good. Give detailed compliments like, I love your shoelace. They are so thin and they are nice. They look like these are shoes from Italy. Number 2, anytime you approach any person, talk from an angle of the future and talk very big things. And that's a principle in the Bible, that anytime men approached greatness, they spoke according to that level of greatness. And no one goes to greatness, you're invited into it. If I DM'd Mr. Edwin and told him, invite me, I want to come and say hi, he could not have responded. Because when you check in the Bible, Daniel, Joseph, David, I've written a book called The Language of Royalty. I did a research of all the men who stood before the king. All of them were invited. You don't go to greatness because there are 3 levels of introduction. There are men you go to, there are men you are endorsed to, then there are men the gift introduces you to. And you must know the men to go to. There are men you push, you call them. But then there are men you wait for you to be endorsed to. Then there are men you wait the gift and time to introduce you to them. Even if you go to them, they'll not respond. So you have to wait for the gift to introduce you to. So that's the second rule you must master. That even in this room as you're approaching people, there's a person you'll approach today, they might not pay keen attention. don't call them again. And I always tell people, when you send someone a message and they blue tick you once, don't add another blue tick. Respect yourself. It just means that maybe you've not built capacity to that level. Go back and build your capacity. And as you build your capacity, capacity introduces you quickly. Like right now, whatever is happening in this room, within these 5 minutes, it's so quick. So many things are happening right now as I'm speaking. Because this is how capacity works. It introduces you quickly and it happens so fast. So work on your capacity so much that by the time the introduction is happening, it's swift. Then third thing, kill the language called Christianese. I was talking with Mr. Edwin at the lounge, and we were talking about how Christians go in the corporate world and they carry a Christian language. Shalom. Thank you, my brother. Praise the Lord. I am an apostle. The Lord is doing things. Joseph must know how to sit under Potiphar because Potiphar is not born again. Daniel must know how to survive in Babylon. And sometimes it is not necessary for people to know you're born again. You can show them by fruit. Love, humility, kind